Hey, I'm Daryl. Welcome back to Sweet Hot Rods and Honey. It's been a while since we've made a video, and I just wanted to give you a little update on what I've been doing on the 51 Ford pickup. Been ordering parts and painting and sanding and body work and more painting. So there's, we got a new sign too. So that's our signage, just like all the other big time YouTubers out there with their channel. So anyway, let me show you what I'm going to be working on over the weekend and what I've been doing for the past couple weeks. So we've got some of the body work done on the truck. I still have to do some of the back end. We got it covered up right now because I've been painting in the garage, making a mess on the floor because we've got dark paint. We've got black and black cherry, so it's dark and a lot of overspray. But this floor is gonna all get repainted anyway and respeckled. But what we're gonna paint next is the hood, and I think it's all pretty good shape. I've gotta go over it again, sand it down one more time because there was a couple little pinholes and little marks that I missed. So that's gonna be, it's Friday, so, and right now we've got a Hurricane Debbie coming through, and so the humidity is high, so I can't really paint that well today, but I'm gonna wait till the weekend, and the storm should clear out, and hopefully the humidity level will drop. And let me just show you what paint we're gonna be using. I've got Eastwood's single stage black cherry. It's single stage urethane, but that's going to be the body, and you can see some of it right here. I did door jambs and part of the cowling in the dash. That's going to get another coat of paint, and then we're using this clear coat. That's not the clear coat. We got clear coat from Restoration Shop, and I bought this through TCP Global. I love this high gloss urethane clear coat. And I'll show you the pieces that I have already painted. But the whole body's got to be gone through again. Make sure all the little dents, divots, everything is straight. And then we're gonna put 2 coats of that black cherry on, another coat on top of this, and then even though it's single stage paint, you can still clear coat over it. So some of the fenders and the box in the back I painted, and I believe I used 2 or 3 coats of the color, and then I think it was 4 coats of clear on top of that. So that's turned out pretty nice, and I'll take you downstairs and show you that in a minute. But the other thing we're gonna be working on right here, my 6-liter LS engine came out of a truck. It was a Cadillac Escalade, so it's a truck engine, and it has a truck manifold. That manifold works well, but it doesn't look very well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm taking off the throttle body for that. This is, I think it's an 88 millimeter orifice. And what we're gonna do is, and I haven't even opened this box yet. We've got a Jegs manifold, low profile manifold. And I think it's a 104 orifice. But this adapter is gonna go between the 104 manifold and the 88 millimeter throttle body, because I really wanted to keep this throttle body since it's a drive-by-wire, and I did not want to have to change too much of the tune because of the new throttle body and manifold. So, but we're gonna have to change that tune anyway, because I put a larger cam in the engine. So, you know, I just wanted to beef it up a little bit, but I just wanted to keep the electronics the same. So that's some of the engine stuff. We're gonna get back to this in a second also, but let's go downstairs and I'll show you the pieces of the body that I painted. And you'll have to excuse the major mess in the basement here. All right, so here are the two sides of the bed. And it's really, the lighting is not the best. Let me try to turn some lights on in here. It's tough to see the color, but this is black cherry. And it turned out okay. I'm gonna be wet sanding it because there is some texture there. There's not a whole lot of orange peel, but there's enough that we've gotta go over it all. And this has a pearl in it. It's kind of impossible to see the pearl. Oh, there you can see a little bit of it in the reflection. It almost looks like imperfections in the paint, but it's pearl. So we got the bed sides painted on both sides. Turned out pretty decent. Let me take you over here. I've got running boards here, and they are black, and it's like a black pearl. They turned out really nice, but again, they also need to be wet sanded. So I think I put two or three coats of black color, and then 2 coats on here of clear. On the fenders, I added more layers of clear. So, fenders, you can see it's got a little bit of orange peel, but in general, I'm pretty happy with that finish. So those are the 2 rear fenders. Here is the tailgate. The tailgate and the box are the black cherry. Oh, it's really tough to see without going out in the sunlight. Right now it's pouring down raining because of the hurricane. So I'm happy with how they turned out. We got part of the front top of the grill. We painted flat black on the teeth and the front grill part. We've got new LED lights and with an outer ring for turn signals. So I'll be interested to see how they turn out. And I was lucky enough to find these trim rings. That was at the NHRA, or National Hot Rod Association, for Street Rod Association, their show in York, Pennsylvania, and the guy was selling these for 20 bucks. They're stainless steel. They're in great shape. I polished them up. No major dents, so it was a good deal. Here's the lower front fenders, and the fenders again are black. So I've got to bolt those up to the larger part of the front fenders. Sorry for knocking this around. So I'm quite happy with the texture. I mean, even though there's orange peel, in the past I haven't been able to paint this flat well enough, and I think it's due to adding enough reducer. So I used a slow reducer, and I thinned out the paint and put on thinner coats, and a couple more coats than normal. So these are the inner fenders, and they're going to be black. They're fine. So these are the pieces that I painted, and it's been I guess a couple weeks that I've been working on these. So let's go back up and take a look at the new intake manifold that I bought. And like I said, it's from Jegs. I don't know that there's anything more here. Headers, and I've got the stainless steel exhaust set up, ready to go. There's not a whole lot else over here. Here's some parts that I have to take up for a dashboard. These need another coat of paint, plus they need clear over. And then this also needs clear on it. That's the kind of the hood scoop for the air input into the cabin. Let's take a look up here. And I got to work on wiring. It's kind of a mess, but I'm going to wait until I get all the paint done and get the engine set in place, and then I'll start to rewire at least the computer and the engine. So in theory, we should be able to fire it up once I get everything put back together on the top side of the engine, but we're not ready for that yet. So let's go up and take a look at this manifold. I haven't looked at it, and so let me get you set up here. Okay, so let me get I got to clean up this throttle body. Still pretty yucky. I have to go through it with some carb cleaner and some degreaser. But what I wanted to do first, and this is what I was concerned about, was making sure everything mates together. Even though with the new manifold, it's got an orifice of 104 millimeters. This is an 88 millimeter, so in theory, there's going to be less air being pushed through into the engine. And I just wanted to make sure that, with this setup, that everything is going to match up. So with this adapter, get a knife or scissors out of here. I just want to make sure it all mates well. So I got this. It's by ICT Billet, and I got this from Speedway Motors. It has actually goes on the front of the engine, and then the throttle body, or the front of the manifold, the throttle body bolts to it. This is a three bolt throttle body. So they've got the three bolt holes here to mount that. On the new manifold, it's a 4-bolt, so it's got 4 here. So it's kind of cool. Hopefully it's going to work out. But I think this is listed around 29 bucks, and then it was shipping, it was 40 bucks. So that was fine. So let me just check this before we go any further. And I wanted to do this just in case this did not work, that I can send it back. So we got this. Let me point this down a little bit. You can see that. So this gasket, I don't quite understand how this, oh, there we go. So that gasket is like so, and then that goes onto the front of this. And let me just put in a few screws so that way that it lines up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are for the 4-bolt. These are the 3. All right, so they give you the hardware as well. Let's see if it's gonna at least go on. They give you a 30-day return policy at Speedway and also at Jegs. So I just want to make sure everything lines up. I've got these yesterday and the day before. So we've got plenty of time to do this, but I just want to make sure that there are no fitment issues. This looks like it should be okay. I just hand screwed them in there. So put in the 3. So that looks fine. And this is a drive-by-wire. So again, I wanted to keep this drive-by-wire. All right, so let me take these off and then we'll do the same on the manifold. I haven't even looked at the manifold yet. Let me set this aside. Okay. Now, Jegs, made in China. And I didn't buy this directly from Jegs. I did look at this same manifold on the Jegs website. I found the same exact part number on eBay, and it was apparently a sale price. So this is brand new, and it was about this was 350 bucks, and I think the one on their website was a little over 400. So I don't know what the difference is. I hope there's no difference. It looked like it was the same unit, same part number. We'll see. All right, let me set this to the side. I don't know that there's anything else in the box except the packing foam. Nope, there is. We got another box here. Oh, and that should be the fuel rails. And I think then there's a crossover hose for the fuel rails. So let me turn this camera around so you can see better. Okay, that's better. Can you see? Good. So it's got Jegs. It's listed as, you know, sheet metal, and certainly it's sheet metal, but it's a painted flat black. I don't know if I'm going to keep flat black or not. I might paint it the Bonneville black cherry. We'll see. Flat black looks good. All right. So here it is. It's got some nice welds. I'm hoping that I won't have any issues with the fuel injectors that I have. With a different air intake. If there's more air coming in, we're going to have to keep that air-fuel mixture at stoic, which is a 14.7 pounds. You know, that ratio of, so I may possibly have to put in larger fuel injectors. I don't know what the stock ones are rated, but we'll see when we try to fire this thing up and look at the air-fuel ratio. I have a gauge that I'm going to permanently mount in the truck. But first of all, let's just make sure that this adapter works on this orifice. And this was for cathedral style heads. Now let me bring you in here a little bit closer. So these are for the cathedral heads. It's got vacuum connections for here, so there's different sizes. There's one larger and three smaller. I don't know what those exact those measurements are, but we'll probably have to end up plugging 3 of them, using one of them, but that's for vacuum manifold. And so it also has mounts for the fuel rails. We'll take a look at those. This is for another sensor in the back, and I think that's for the map sensor. Yeah. Let's see if this mates up with that adapter. Well, I don't have, and I open up the box with a fuel rail and this extra box. I do not see a gasket, but I'm going to have to get a gasket before this adapter plate goes on. But let's just see how this mates up. It's got Allen. And let me see if I can get an Allen wrench that's going to work here. All right, we got one. I'm going to take this back off, so this is not permanent right now. And I'll put part numbers down below, so in case anybody else wants to do this kind of thing with this adapter plate and this input manifold. Just get it so that these bolt heads clear. normally, guys may buy a 104 millimeter intake orifice, and then use a throttle body that matches so that you don't have any air restrictions. And that's good. And so I could have done that and used drive-by cable instead of drive-by wire, but I wanted to keep the drive-by wire just because, you know, to minimize the amount of change that I would have to do to the tune. So that goes there. We know that the throttle body works. I'm going to clean this up. We'll go like so. Clean up the throttle body. It's got a lot of corrosion on it. This engine came from Pennsylvania, so you know, it's 20 years old. So it's got plenty of corrosion just on the surface. So it'll clean up, and then maybe I'll even paint this the same color as to match the intake manifold. I don't know if I'm going to keep this color as black or if I'll, you know, again, make it black cherry. Either way, it will look cool. All right, so that matches fine. The next thing I wanted to double check was, let me grab one of the injectors and make sure that have these lubricated. Make sure that it's a similar orifice. This is, let me get something to lubricate this so I can slide it in here. I'm hoping that these stock injectors are going to work. Oh, looks like the stock injectors will work. I don't want to force it in there right now. I just want to do a quick check. But at the same time, I want to check these fuel rails. And here's what came in the package. So it's two rails, and there's a crossover hose that goes from side to side on these, and it also has a set of mounting brackets. These little mounting brackets that mount the fuel rails. So let me see how, well, let me just rip this open, try to slide this out of here. Looks like it's a nice finish on the fuel rail. These brackets somehow get mounted like so, either a tall injector or a shorter injector, and then these get mounted on the side of the one of these little stands like so. So, let me see if I can at least get these mounts put on and determine which hole we're going to have to use for these injectors. Also, what we have in here are the connectors for AN fittings. All right, let me set this over here for now. AN fittings. And I think, looks like an AN8, and maybe a 6. This looks like an 8. And these go on the end of, the fuel rail. So there should be one on each rail. And then this hose goes from side to side. Yeah. On that one, and then this would get mounted like so. And this goes around the back side to the other rail. So we've got that hardware. Let me set these to the side for now. And let's see what else is in here. So these mounting brackets. We've got some O-rings. All right, and then there's one plug that gets plugged on the end that doesn't get the AN fitting on it. So this will just make sure these all, yeah. All right, so that's fine. More O-rings. I don't want to lose those. I'm not quite sure where they have to go exactly. All right, one is looks like an AN6. One is an AN. No, these are both the same. They are the same. So I don't know why. I think they may have an extra one in here. Now the fuel line that I'm using, coming from the tank up to the fuel pump, and then through a filter, then comes up the rail, the frame of the truck, and eventually is going to get up to the back end of the manifold and this fitting. So on the rest of the line, I have AN6. So I'll have to probably put get an adapter for an AN6 to an AN8. So let me keep that over here. I don't need this anymore. We got the plug end, and that'll probably go towards the front, the plugged side. So I've seen other videos of a similar, if not the same, intake manifold, and these fuel rail mounts just aren't cut right for the height of the injector. So let me get these put on. We'll check that, clean up some of this stuff and get it organized so I don't lose it. Okay, so I've got these just loosely fit in here. I'm gonna just try putting in one bolt, and I'm gonna try the bottom. There's two for tall and shorter injectors. I'm gonna start out with a shorter because I think that's what the stock are. And you can see where the bottom of the injector is gonna seat on both sides. So I'm gonna see if this gap is that wide. And it looks like it is. It may not be exact, but it's very close. So I think that's a good measurement. I want to dry fit all these things first before I permanently mount anything, and also before I figure out if I'm going to paint this or not. And it looks like my battery is starting to go dead. So I may have to cut this segment a little bit short. I'll put this, kind of loosely put this together and see if these injectors will slide into this fuel rail. Let me get these on here so I don't lose any of this hardware. All right, so let me just see if this is going to work. It goes on the outside. And I don't want to rupture this O-ring. Well, that fits on there really nice. And you can see that it seats quite well. Actually, I think I have I know there's not a clip there, but it seats pretty good. The problem I think I have is getting the injector into this hole. So let me work on that. Now I'll charge up my battery on the camera. And one final thing before we take a little break is looking at the hardware in this box. I'm going to have to get these plugs. I have some plugs, and we're going to have to get a fitting for manifold vacuum. It's probably going to be this larger size. I don't know what these sizes are. There's no documentation that came in this box, so I'm going to have to look online to find out exactly what these are. And that plus I've got to double check to make sure I've got the correct sensor for manifold vacuum or mass airflow sensor, just to verify that that's okay. But everything else on this manifold looks great. I mean, it looks like it's been pretty well made. All the welds are nice. The finish is very nice. So in spite of it being built in China, I mean, at a glance it looks good, but let's just double check and set it on the engine to make sure everything lines up there. Okay, I bought a new set of knock sensors, and I ended up ripping one off, so I've got to fix that. It's really just re-crimping it in there, but for now, that's fine. All right, let me take off this tape so we can just set that manifold down. I just realized the hardware to mount the manifold did not come with the manifold. So, but I do have a gasket that's going to work. And this hardware to mount, this is for the stock mount. These will not work with this new manifold. So I'm going to have to find out exactly what part number it is and order some of them. I'm not going to mess with the gasket right now. I'm just going to do a dry fit on and check the one side. And see how it looks. All All right, so all the holes match up fine. It doesn't look like anything's going to have to be, any of these mounting holes opened up further. And see, what else was I going to take a look at? Nothing really. That's the main question. Let me bring you in here to show you. I had painted this valley cover, but I think I'm gonna do a little bit more work and clean it up. This engine is dirty. It's been repainted. I rebuilt it, and I repainted the outside of the engine, but it's pretty gritty. What I didn't paint was the transmission from the bell housing back. That's been rebuilt, but it's dirty. The other thing that I would like to get are, instead of these valve covers with the coils mounted on top, they look kind of ugly. You can purchase valve covers that have then a decorative cover over top of it. So it looks like the old school valve cover from small block shaver or whatever. And so that looks really good. What I don't know yet is if I go that route and put on those valve covers, they seem to be kind of tall. So I'm not going to know until I put the engine back in the truck. I need to know what the clearance is again from the back of this existing valve cover to the firewall. I think it might be enough room, but I'm not going to invest in those decorative valve covers until I know for sure. So, but let me show you the fitment here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see down in each one of the mounting holes, they match pretty well. So I'm happy about that. I think this is going to be just fine. And I think it looks pretty cool myself. I shouldn't have any problem with height of this intake manifold because the truck intake, the stock one was actually even higher, I think. The stock one came up even that high. And we got all kind of room in the engine bay of the truck. I don't remember exactly, but I think the top of the manifold may have been right around here. So I think we have plenty of space. I'd be really surprised if that's going to be a problem. So, but anyway, this intake manifold looks like it's going to work out okay. I like the looks of it. It's a lot cleaner than the truck manifold. I mean, you could even put a cover over top. I mean, it has a cover from the stock manifold, but I don't know. I like this look much better. And I think it will probably perform. It may be pulling in more air, but we'll find out when we run it and get a good look at the AFR, the air fuel mixture, the wideband. So I think that's it for today. I'm going to try to find mounting bolts for the manifold and the gasket for this adapter on the throttle body. And see what else, because that was pretty much a ring. But I think in general that's pretty good. Again, I'm going to plan on painting tomorrow this hood and give it a few coats of clear coat. I'm hoping that the humidity is going to drop some because it is extremely humid right now. So things are coming along, and while I'm at it, when I'm ready to put the clear coat on, I got to put a coat of clear on our bird here. So make him shiny. All right, so I think that's it for this video. I'll show you the final product in the next videos, and you'll see the paint on this hood, and then I got to finish doing body work on the back of the cab. There's just a few shallow dents, but they still have to be fixed. And what was the other thing before I really do close? Oh, I put the the door regulators in, and I've got to straighten out this one for the passenger door latch. Just doesn't work quite right. So that was, I didn't have to buy a new one, so I used the one that came with the truck. I bought a new one for the driver's side, and that works smooth. But I had to get some PB Blaster and some other lubricant just to loosen up this that door latch. But that's just the way it goes. All right, I gotta close this out. My battery is dying. And thanks again. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you enjoy the videos, there will be more coming. And if you want to hit that bell for notifications, that would be great. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of the summer. It's a hot one. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye.